This episode is brought to you by our partnership with Grand Canyon University. Welcome to the Ignite Project, a Polk County Public Schools podcast made for teachers by teachers. Teachers of all experience levels need each other's enthusiasm and passion to fuel an ongoing desire to do what it takes to meet the needs of our students. And that's what this podcast is all about. Be energized by their enthusiasm to ignite a love for teaching while they challenge others to join them in their work. Join us now.
Welcome to the Ignite Podcast. I'm Jessica Solano, Teacher Engagement Leader here at Polk County Public Schools and 2017 Florida Teacher of the Year. I'm excited to be able to welcome Cleo Johnson to our Ignite Podcast. We're so excited that she's here. She's bringing us an awesome topic of supporting new teachers. And with that topic, really, I will say you have done such an awesome job, and I'm so excited for the audience to get to hear what you have to say, Cleo. So Cleo is a fourth grade teacher at Jesse Keene Elementary. She has been teaching for 18 years with Polk County Public Schools, all of which are at the same school at Jesse Keene Elementary in Lakeland. So welcome to the show, Cleo.
Hello, Jessica.
Excited to have you here. So Cleo, I actually got to meet you through our Leading from the Classroom program, which is our exclusive teacher leadership program with the district. We get probably about 80 applicants every year, and we only accept like 30 to 40. But during that time, I loved getting to know you because you are so hilarious and so energetic and so passionate, and it's so nice to feel someone in the room who's so alive and draws everyone into what you have to say. So I'm excited about that opportunity. I'd love if you could share with us about that program. I know you love to tell people about it, but about what that maybe stirred up in you. And then we'll eventually bring into this new program that you joined us with the Teacher Engagement Ambassadors. So tell us about your teacher journey or your leadership experience as a teacher and where you're at right now.
So I started at Jesse King 18 years ago, and it was the most amazing family environment and great leader. Oh my goodness. My principal at the time, she was so amazing that I always had the inspiration to be just like her. The atmosphere was family oriented. Everybody supported each other. There was always smiles. So it made you never want to leave. Like you were home. When I got there, I felt like this is home. And, so I've never left. I don't think another school can give me what Jesse King has given me. And that's a home. And that's what a lot of teachers look for, is where they can fit in and feel good about themselves there. And when I got the email that I was selected for Leading from the Classroom, I was so excited. You should have saw me. It was like Christmas. And I was running down and I told my principal, and he was like, wow, he's so proud of me. And I was just excited to take on this new adventure. And when I got in there, the first thing I told everybody is that we were both selected as Teacher of the Year in 2016. And I told everybody from Leading in the Classroom, I let Jessica win. I did. I felt so sorry. I mean, she was pregnant, so,
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And so she went on to do amazing things with it. But it was a great opportunity. In fact, it inspired me, and it made me hunger to want to do more, to bring back that family environment back to the school that I was at, that was used to be there. And I was so excited. I mean, just coming there, oh my God, Jessica, you fed me so good.
Good. And that's what we're finding, like, teachers need, right? You have these teachers that, like, 18 years, right? There's not as many as we'd like to be in the profession that have that can say that and at the same school.
Yes.
And so we're finding that teacher leaders that are passionate about what they do also want to feel challenged and feel fed into so that they can pour into other people. And so I think that's so incredible and so telling to the culture that you must have at your school,
Absolutely.
too. Because we hear that, like, teachers don't leave schools, they leave principals, right? Or that there's this culture that's such a huge piece of it. So so exciting to see you then go into this Teacher Engagement Ambassador program. So, and to give the audience kind of some context, this program is an extension of our teacher engagement department, and we're really focused on building up teacher retention, supporting new teachers, teacher leadership, and district culture. So it's really powerful to be able to get that person at a school doing all that from the ground up, but specifically in supporting new teachers. So I know we were talking recently about how your interactions with new teachers have been this year, and all really fueling from this teacher engagement ambassador role. So tell us about what that looks like, and what's your take on the role and the impact that you might be seeing on your campus?
Well, when I got the email from my principal that this was available, I was so excited. I mean, I was so excited about this, and I'm like, Jessica, I hope she selects me. I was so excited. I was excited. And once I got the confirmation email, I mean, it did something to me. And it made me say, what can I do? Mm-hmm. What can I do to bring that back to all those new teachers from what I got when I received it 18 years ago? And so right off, first week, I'm in there, and I'm like, I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader. And they were like, okay, you got a lot of energy there. So one of the things that I do is I put a treat in their box. And that was something that 18 years ago, my principal did for me. And it got you so excited because you wanted to go check your box because you wanted to know what was inside. And so I put a little treat in there, and they got Twinkies. So, and I always put a little saying, and today is teachers knows that what's inside really count. And it says, so I got feelings for you. So inside the Twinkie is a little feeling.
Cute.
And they are so excited. I tried it. I definitely do it once a week, but I try to do it twice a week. And it's just the little things like that that the new teachers say it really helps. Mm-hmm. When they're having a bad day, they go to that box, and it's a little note of encouragement that say, I appreciate you for all that you do. And it's always something that is attached to whatever I give them. And they're so excited. Like, they got muffins, and we wouldn't be muffin without you. And they're just so like, oh my goodness. So that helps. It really does. When you're having a bad day and you go to your box and then you feel appreciated, it's little things like that. It's the smiles in the hallway that I give them, or when I know they're having a tough day, I look at them and I say, you can do it. And I always say, you know what? This too shall pass. So don't define your whole teaching career on this moment, because this moment is going to go. And I tell them, I say, you know what? At the end of the school year, you're not going to even think about this moment because it's going to be gone. You're going to have so many of these moments. And I think it is so helpful, especially because it's a new journey for them. You know, college was one thing, but being out in your career and in that classroom with those kids, different personalities, different backgrounds, you know, they can't prepare you for that.
Right.
But just being there and knowing that you have someone that's going to encourage you every day, going to give you a smile, going to say you can do it, I think that helps. It does a lot for them. And I'm so vocal that I always say, guess what such and such did today? And they're like, oh my God. So they're excited. And I always send them an email. They get emails of encouragement. Like, don't let tomorrow get to you. You know, no matter if the district comes in your room, you know, they're not there for you. They're there for the kids. And it's stuff like that kind of like take the butterflies out their stomach. It kind of just let them know, I got this. Like, I can do it.
Right.
And so with that, it's really helping those new teachers. I really think and it also helps the morale at the school as well.
Right. Well, and that's so awesome, because I think we have this feeling as teachers, like I'm in a silo, right? I'm in my own little classroom and nobody really sees me. And we recently discovered, at least in our own district, right, with teachers that are leaving, that 92% of them, of our brand new teachers, are our career changers, right? Our non-ed majors who have come into the education field without any internship or any other teaching experience. And so not only is it overwhelming to be able to step into a classroom, even with education experience, experience, especially now of all times, right? But to be able to step in and to not really have any idea of what to expect and the different dynamics in the classroom, it must be really, really powerful to have a cheerleader. And I think it's important to have people that are your encouragers and people that will keep you grounded and real. But especially with trying to connect with what's important and weed through all that. What do I keep? What do I not? We hear all the time that teachers love hearing and learning from other teachers.
Yes.
So have you had that experience where you have been able to break the ice and somehow be able to give them little nuggets that they could hold on to?
Absolutely. One of the things I did was I called a meeting, and I was like, I just want you for a minute. And we had so much fun. We had so much fun that afternoon. We ended up staying till 5 o'clock. But they came in my room, and it was different. It was different. And one of the things I told them, I said, what you're doing now is you're trying to decorate your room. Every new teacher is decorating. They got a theme going on, and it's all cute. And when they came in my room, it was straight to the point.
Yeah.
This is data. This is, your targets and everything. And when they came in there, the first thing they said was, I'm doing too much. And I said, yes. So they got a chance to take pictures of my classroom and just to go back and incorporate it into their classrooms. And one thing they learned is that they're spending too much time on stuff that doesn't matter. Decorating your room, I say the district never is going to look at that. That's not important. I say the kids think, oh, that's cute. But that's not going to teach them. It's not going to help them learn. I say, just put up what they need. And I think if they keep it simple, it helps. And again, you want it to be cute. You're new. You got those fresh ideas. Right. But one thing that they learned is when they came down and they saw the veterans room and it wasn't all decorative or anything, I think they started to get the picture. And there's nothing wrong with being decorative. But I think when you're just starting out, you don't want to focus all your energy on that because you'll miss the big picture. You'll miss what's important for the kids to learn. And so when they came down and they saw that, I said, okay, now we have a short-term goal. At the end of the week, I want to see your targets, your success criteria. I want to see your standard. So, and I was like, by Friday, and I'm coming, and it was so exciting to see. They started hungering for that. And they had someone that they can look up to say, wow, someone is making me accountable for short-term goals, for short things. And I can go and I can get this done. And I say, look, whatever you're working on, I want you to focus your attention on this. Yeah. This is what I want you to focus your attention on. And as a result, it was enlightened. And I didn't let them just see my room. I took them to other teachers' room. And they were like, oh, my goodness. So it was like almost like they had a epiphany. Like it was like a light came on. And they said, okay. So it was great in that aspect. And I was so happy for them because now it's like, I can do this. Right. The concern, the fears are going away. And I love that when I see that because that's the same thing that happened to me. And it was like, when I started teaching, I wish every teacher could experience what I experienced. My principal, she's so amazing. She allowed me to observe for 6 weeks. Wow. It allowed me to see the different styles of teaching. I was able to go in different classrooms. I was able to see the different styles of teaching. I was able to see how to handle behavior management, what works, what don't work. And as a result, I believe that's why I'm where I'm at today, because I got that opportunity early. And unfortunately, all teachers can't have that observation moment for that long. But when they get it, they get enlightened. Right. And I think that's the key, being able to observe and see other classrooms, because we don't get to do that. Even as a teacher, right. I I wish I could see other teachers' classrooms, but you're so consumed with your own that you don't even have time to visit,
Right.
But
Right. Well, I think you really hit on a really important part, and I think we get sucked into this idea of the tyranny of the urgent, right? Like, we need teachers in classrooms. We have subs right now. We need to put them in. So 6 weeks observing other teachers seems like a great idea, but for some principals, it might be completely impossible because these kids have had a sub all year. We need them in there.
Right.
However, if we don't take time to be intentional with getting teachers in these other classrooms, and I love focusing on one thing at a time.
Yes.
Honestly, sometimes we hear from teachers like, I'm a career changer. I didn't know what I was getting into. I got the keys to my classroom. I didn't see anyone ever again.
Yes.
And you're just off to your own. And so how powerful it would be if we have to control what we can control, and as teachers, if we could go and say, hey, I see you. I see that you are out there, that you're new to our school. Welcome.
Yes.
Here's what I would recommend doing first.
Absolutely.
And kind of put it out as a trail with those short-term goals like you're talking about.
And I believe,
powerful.
and I believe if we could do that, we would retain more teachers. That's what retained me. I'll tell everybody, I came from the business world, and when you come to the teaching, you go one check a month instead of get one check a week. Your budget is different, but it was a challenge. It really was, but I can honestly say I'm still teaching today, and I wouldn't go back to the business world because I was able to observe.
Yeah.
And it was so helpful to mold me into the teacher that I am today. And I wish we could afford those opportunities for new teachers to see a veteran teacher in action so that they can see the do's and don'ts, so they can see behavior management, so they can see how to run a classroom and what it takes day in and day out. As a result, we don't get that. And it's so unfortunately, like you said, 92% of them, they leave because they don't feel like they had that support.
Right.
And it's not that we didn't want to give them we didn't want to give them that support. It's just that when you get in that classroom, the expectations are so high that you're trying to meet and exceed them. I'm a very competitive person. So everybody knows I'm going to be the best. Like, no one is going to outscore me when scores come at the end, or I'm going to get up, What can I do?
Take this personally.
Yeah, I take it very personal. It's like a loss to me. So it's very hurtful that we have to see so many leave, and they have so much potential.
Right.
And it's unfortunate that we don't get that opportunity to train them the right way.
Well, and I love that you're doing something about it. When you're of course, you're in this role as teacher engagement ambassador, but that doesn't mean like you're not teaching. You have your own classroom of fourth graders that you're responsible for, like you just said, taking personally. But you also have almost like this other class of new teachers that you're also getting to know, and scaffolding support, and all of that goes with it. And so I think that really then leads into the next point of, if I'm not a teacher engagement ambassador at my school, I'm just a teacher that sees that I have a new person on my team. I can take steps to be able to support them, even in little ways. So I think it would be important for people to get from this is the power that it has if you're able to build those relationships, dropping them some encouragement, bringing them by your room, getting them connected with other teachers, and then the power that has, and just focusing on, I can control this much, or I can recommend to administration saying, hey, I got this idea. I'll cover Miss Smith's room if you'll let her go observe so-and-so, So do you have any other ideas about how maybe like teachers who are just saying, hey, I noticed that there's this person on my campus, I want to mentor her or be, kind of pour into this teacher, but how can I do that and still be a teacher and still hold up to my responsibilities?
Well, one of the things at my school, personally, we have 19 new teachers.
Wow.
So the teachers that have been there, they have other important roles that are very time-consuming, and the other teachers are still trying to find their way. They're still trying to find their ground. And it's important that we are mentoring other teachers, and you're right, those small moments, going into those teachers' rooms and giving them a break, just letting them know that they can breathe, or just say, hey, look, if you have a disruptive child, hey, send them to my room. I'll take him for a little bit. And also just like you said, going into those rooms, say, hey, look, go observe such and such, because I think her teaching style is something that could fit what you're dealing with, something, your struggles, your shortcomings, and just encouraging. I think this could really, it's a positive. It can benefit you. It can help you. And teachers want that.
Right.
One thing I noticed at our school, they're hungry. They want to be the best. They want to do well. And I want to give them those opportunities. And just stopping by and building those relationships, they said, looking at me, they could never see that personality. Because when you're walking down the hallway, like, I'm so happy I speak to everybody else, like,
right.
Okay, is she okay? Like, what's going on with her? and that's just me, the cheerleader. I've always been one. But it's just getting to know people. And you get to know that they came from the business world, because we actually become naive as teachers. Teachers that have been at schools, what we believe is everybody has interned. Mm-hmm. Everybody has education background.
Exactly.
We make that assumption.
Right.
And what's happening is we don't understand why they don't understand.
Right.
Like how you don't understand behavior management. You did an intern. No, I come from the business world. We don't understand that. So one of the things is that when we stop to get to know them, mm-hmm. to really get to know and to understand that their background is not education. They didn't get what we got. They didn't get the internship. It makes a big difference. It really does. And I really believe that if everybody just stopped to get to know someone else, not specifically on your team, mm-hmm. but someone on another team, we can build magical relationships and foundations that will actually help teacher retention.
Awesome. And so really, we've talked a lot about what to do with new teachers, right? To support them, encourage them, and everything. What would you say, if you could name just one thing, what would you absolutely say, don't do this with new teachers?
Don't overwhelm them.
Yeah.
They have enough already. Don't give them too much to do. Just baby steps. It's like a baby. They're learning how to walk. You don't just pick them up and tell them to walk. They have to crawl before they walk. When you give teachers too much too soon, mm-hmm. they get frustrated.
Yeah.
They start breaking down because they don't feel like they're going to be able to exceed your expectation, let alone meet your expectation. So just give them stuff in stages, just a little bit at a time. I wouldn't say, oh, you need to do this. That's why I tell the new teachers at our school, I say short-term goals. Mm-hmm. Tell me something what you can do this week. I don't want you to save the kids. I don't want you to move all your kids. I want to see, can you put your boards up right? Let's just do your boards this week.
Right.
Next week, we'll work on putting your grades in. Baby steps. You don't want to overwhelm them because they have a lot already mm-hmm. that they're dealing with. COVID, 6 feet apart, the new normal. Well, it's not the new normal, but what they're coming into is not the traditional way that we normally start school. So they're having a lot to deal with. Mm-hmm. Don't overwhelm them by giving them more expectations. Just give them baby steps. Yeah. Can you have this done by Friday? Just little stuff.
Right.
Not a lot.
Well, then they get to feel successful, just like our kids, right? You wouldn't give them all of the standards all at once.
Absolutely
You would
not.
baby step it out,
Absolutely.
right, so that they can feel successful. And I think then at that point, doing that, then you can start to normalize error and normalize feedback. So when you're talking about, hey, I noticed that when your kids were in line the other day, you were struggling to kind of get a hold of them. You got to meet with Mr. Jones. He's so great at doing that. And then it's not something that they could be offended by because you've seen and they've proven to you they've been successful along the way.
Absolutely. And I would always give them little encouraging tips. What you're doing is great, but I think this would be even better because, it was working, but I think it not stopped working because sometimes we get a great idea. Right. And if we're not consistent with it, it stops working. The kids realize that. And just little stuff. I think this would be a little bit better. And praise. Kids love praise. It's just like teachers. We love praise.
Right.
Give me a praise and I can go the whole school year. So Just little praises. I love your line. It was so awesome, and it was quiet. So if you give them a little praises in the hallway, it encourages teachers to want to do better. Like, okay, I see Miss Johnson coming. Guys, be quiet. Miss Johnson is going to give us a compliment.
Right.
So it encourages the teachers, and they love that. They love praise.
Yeah.
I think everybody does.
Yeah, who doesn't? I love it. Well, and so another thing we do to wrap up our session today is we always ask our guests, as a part of this Ignite project, and our focus being on igniting passion, igniting positivity and focus and purpose in our teachers, so that we can really put students first. What would you want to ignite if you had a magic wand and you could create change in our district or even in education as a whole? If you could finish that sentence of, I want to ignite what?
School morale. I think that is so important. That keeps teachers. It keeps principals. It keeps you longer. If you wanted to retire, I'm going to stay a little bit longer because it feels like home. You won't lose a great teacher because the morale wasn't there.
Right.
And morale sets the tone for everything. Morale moves students. Morale keeps teachers. Morale makes your principal appreciate you more. And if we have great morale, I know we want to close the student gaps, but we can close the student gaps when we have school morale, because I think that's the basic foundation. If your morale is good, morale includes, under that umbrella, you praise your teachers. You appreciate your teachers. Not only do you appreciate your teachers, you appreciate your parents, you appreciate your students. We're happy. It's a happy environment. Everybody loves to be here. This is the place that you never want to leave.
Right.
This is your place of retirement. I'm going to stay here till I retire. That builds that community. That invites more people in. And when they see that, it ignites something. And it says, I am home. I do feel good. It increases the student scores. Like I say, when I first got there, the morale was so high. Our school was an A school. Why? You were appreciated.
Yeah.
You felt loved. You felt that it was a family environment. When you left, it was because you was retiring. Not because you went to another school because you thought the grass was greener on the other side or you were tired of your principal. No, you had an amazing principal. You never wanted to leave.
Right.
I mean, I believe morale moves everything. Morale is the key to moving the school, the district, the students, the teachers, keeping teachers. Teacher retention.
Yeah.
I believe that helps because you want to come to work. How many people get out of bed Monday morning and like, oh no, I don't want to go. Don't make me go. But if you got great morale,
Right.
I can't wait. This is going to be a great week. I can feel it. You walk into school, your principal greets you with a smile. They high-fiving you. I mean, it's COVID right now, so they just air-fiving you, and they appreciate you. They put little things in your box. They give you encouraging emails. They make you feel appreciated. And I think that makes you feel, you don't even have to give a raise. You give praise.
Right.
Praise supersedes a raise any day because you feel like you're worthy, like what you're doing is worth coming to school and you're doing it. This is my career. I chose this. I chose to be a teacher, a lifelong person, so that when I see these kids, I'm right now teaching kids. When I first got there, I'm teaching their kids.
Wow,
I know,
that's so
right?
amazing.
Like they always say, you're teaching, my mom, you was my mom's teacher. And I'm like, I'm still 25, no matter what.
Right.
But just the morale.
Right.
And like I say, I think when I got to my school, that's what did it for me.
Yeah.
And that's what made our school an A school because the morale was there. The appreciation was there.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is, if I had a wand and I could wave it, I think that's what it is.
Yeah. I think you've worded it perfectly, and I think you've done a really nice job of capturing that. I know in our Leading from the Classroom program, we talk about the 5 dysfunctions of a team, that book, and at the base of that is trust. And then eventually you get to the product and accountability, but that trust goes right along with that staff morale. If I trust you and I feel like we're really a family, then we really, truly can move mountains.
Absolutely.
So, awesome. It was such a pleasure getting to talk to you today, Cleo. Thank you so much for firing us up. I'm like, yes, I want to take this, and I hope everyone can hear it because I think this is exactly what people need to hear.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Are you fired up? You can hear more from teachers like this by joining in teacher engagement events. You won't want to miss out on a monthly virtual new teacher seminar, as well as our major events like Ed Camp and Emerge Symposium. Check out all of our upcoming events by following Teacher Engagement on social media at TeachEngagePCPS or by visiting the Teacher Engagement page on the Hub.
Thanks for joining us. You can subscribe to the Ignite Project on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify, or watch online at the Polk County Public Schools YouTube channel. To learn more about the Ignite Project and other Polk County Public School podcasts, go to polkschoolsfl.com/podcasts.